Stations present an hour of truth for the battered but proud people of the Empire State. From the financial and entertainment epicenter of New York City to the sleeping and empty small cities and towns of the state, which once bustled with manufacturing, mining, and farming. We all know from inspiration, history, and nature, we deserve a return to the success and growth of generations past, a birthright being squandered by corruption in Albany, and the depredations of an insecure, scheming mountebank posing as governor, who loathes both us and himself. As liberty beckoned to enslaved peoples behind the Iron Curtain via American broadcasts after World War II, we now say, believe, rise, and join us. Welcome to Radio Free New York.
Hey guys, how's it going? I am your host, Andrew Hollister. I'm here in the WYSL studio, and of course, I'm here with Bob Savage.
What a glorious day as we do this program.
Yeah, it's
bright blue sky, nice breeze.
Yeah, it's looking absolutely beautiful out there. Very, very excited to get out there, have some fun. So we're live here on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Make sure you share it out to your friends. Post a comment in the comments so I know that you guys are here and listening. Always make sure to comment with a question if you have one. If not, just let me know where you're listening from. I see Laura's already started the commenting, so that's great. We're off to a wonderful start.
We haven't even said anything dumb yet.
Wait, no, not yet. We're gonna work on it though. We'll make sure we give you guys something. Today we're gonna try to talk about two topics here, and the first topic I could talk about forever, so I don't know if we'll ever make it to the second one or not. So the first topic, as you guys might have noticed in the title, actually what we're going to talk about today is Walmart. We're going to talk about Walmart. We're going to talk about their quote-unquote ban on guns. And I'm going to tell you about that and how it's not really quite a ban on guns, but, you know, I see why people take it that way. We're going to talk about both sides of the story there, talk about some constitutional stuff surrounding that. And then if we have time, we're going to talk about Walmart getting into the healthcare game, which is very interesting because a lot of people think a lot of bad things about Walmart, and probably justifiably so. But this is a change that could actually bring about a lot of change in our nation in terms of how healthcare is looked at. So it could be long term, you know, me being hopeful, a good thing for us. So those are the two topics. Definitely make sure you comment in with questions, opinions, things you might want me to read on the air. I see Michelle, Nate, Melissa, and Carrie have all joined us. So guys, thank you so much. I'm going to give you guys the number too, just in case you decide to call in. That number is 585-346-3000. And we're just going to get this thing going. So Walmart banning guns. Walmart didn't technically ban guns in their store, but what they said is they don't want open carry in their stores anymore. So let me explain for those who might not know the difference between carrying and open carrying. Let me just give you a quick primer on that. And I'll give it from New York State's perspective and then tell you how that's different across the country. In New York State, there is no such thing as open carry. That's partially true. You can open carry a pistol on your private property or on private property of another person that gives you consent if you have a New York State pistol permit. If you don't have a pistol permit, you definitely don't want to be carrying openly anywhere. You're going to jail because without a New York State pistol permit, you are not allowed to possess a pistol. You're not allowed to shoot a pistol. And
not allowed to touch one.
Yeah, you can't touch it. You can't even hold it in a store, is my understanding.
No, that's right. As a matter of fact, a nearby gun store, I would let them explain their policies to you rather than me, so I won't give their name. If you want to go in and you want to handle a gun, you look at one in the case there. Yep. If you walk in the door, you got to show them your pistol permit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. So, you know, in some stores will not even allow you to purchase pistol ammunition without a pistol permit. Now, that's store policy. That's not New York State law. But you'll find actually Walmart was one of those stores that without a pistol permit, they would not sell you like 9mm ammo or 45mm ammo. If you had a rifle that shot that, sometimes you could try to speak with the manager and see if they'd make an exception for you. I think Dick's was the same way, and Gander Mountain might have been the same way as well. But the local gun shops, typically that's not their policy. Their policy is, Second Amendment is the law of the land, and you should have access to ammunition for your firearms.
Thank you.
Yep. So the difference between open carry and concealed carry is, it may seem self-explanatory, but just to kind of one line it for you, concealed carry is, that firearm is concealed, and concealed doesn't necessarily mean, as I was explained to by the Monroe County Sheriff's Department, it just really means covered. So if somebody can tell you're carrying a firearm, but it's covered, it's still technically concealed. That's my understanding. Whereas an open carry would be, it's not just outside of your waistband, but also your shirt's not over it. Therefore, the firearm is actually exposed. So those are the differences. Walmart said no more open carry in our stores. Basically, we don't want people seeing firearms in our stores.
Well, they asked, though. Wasn't it like a request? Wasn't it couched in terms?
Wegmans was a request. I'm not sure about Walmart. I guess the way I was reading it, it seemed like they said, no more, we don't want this. But we should double check the language just to be sure.
I'll take a peek here.
Yeah. The other thing they did is they stopped selling pistol ammunition in their stores. They stopped selling pistols in their stores, which was only happening in Alaska. So if you were in Alaska and you're going to Walmart to buy handguns, you won't be doing that anymore. And they removed some other rifle ammunition from their stores as well. I couldn't find specifics, but my gut tells me probably 5.56 and 2.23, because those are the two rounds that often get attacked, even though they're kind of low power rounds comparatively.
All right, so here we go. Just look this up. Supermarket and pharmacy chains across the U.S. have begun asking customers to not openly carry firearms in their stores, including in states where open carry is legal. It's a trend that appears to have been sparked by Walmart, whose CEO, Doug McMillon, announced the decision on Tuesday following a string of mass shootings. McMillon announced on Tuesday, this was September 7th, that Walmart would stop selling handguns and military-style rifles. In the same statement, he requested that customers no longer openly carry firearms into Walmart stores. Several other chains have followed suit: Kroger, CVS, Walgreens, and Wegmans.
Yeah. And if you guys saw the Wegmans statement, it may have been the weakest statement I'd ever seen. It was like a Twitter tweet. Of course, this was triggered by Moms Demand Action. Somebody in Fairport actually said, well, Wegmans, what are you going to do? Are you going to step up and protect people and follow suit? Clearly, this person didn't realize that there's no open carry in New York. Yeah. So it made it
a little bit redundant.
A little silly. Although in defense of Wegmans, Wegmans does have stores open in states that do have open carry, and they had just the softest response, which was, well, we'd prefer people not open carry.
We have that statement right here, as a matter of fact.
Oh, do you? Great.
There's nothing more important than the safety of our customers and employees. The sight of someone with a gun can be alarming, and we don't want anyone to feel that way at Wegmans. For this reason, we prefer that customers not openly carry firearms into our stores.
Yeah. So there it is. So, I'm going to ask you guys first to think about this. And the first question is this unreasonable of these stores to ask? Or is this, does this rub you the wrong way? I'll give you guys my opinions on this. First is from the perspective of the stores. Let me go ahead and touch on that. And actually, Wegman's statement covered it pretty well. People are becoming scared, right? They're becoming scared of firearms. And so they're worried that if somebody sees a firearm in their store, maybe people stop going there. Maybe they get negative PR. I mean, it's a valid concern today. Not saying I agree with it, just saying it's a valid concern to these businesses. And in terms of what a private entity can do, they can totally say this is private property. They could say not just open carry, they could say we don't want firearms on our property. They could. They'd be within their rights to do that, which is not what they're asking. Now, is this the right thing to do? Personally, I don't think so. And you guys know I'm super pro Second Amendment. So, of course, I feel that way. Of course, my opinion is, well, the reason people are scared is because they're not educated about firearms. They don't understand that they're a tool, a piece of machinery.
They've been brainwashed by the media.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, media plays a huge role in this, of riding on this fear and this frenzy, and that gets them ad dollars. So, of course, they love pushing this. They love making people think that they're not safe because that drives ad revenue to them. So do I believe that they can do this and they're within their rights to do this? Absolutely. They are 100% within their rights to do this. I just know two things. One, it's not the right thing to do. And two, it's not going to stop anything. It's not going to make anybody any safer. So those two things, I'm going to leave you guys with that. I'm going to let you think about it. When we come back, we're going to talk about it a little bit more. We're going to talk about some of the constitutionality of that. And then we're going to switch over to Walmart getting into the healthcare system. We'll be back on Radio Free New York.
Your business relies on computers and technology to operate. Slow, unreliable networks and servers can cause unplanned downtime and affect your bottom line. The experts at Simple Tech Innovations are here to help. Their preventative maintenance program ensures that your computers and network are kept up to date and monitored for any issues, keeping your business running smoothly. They also help clients achieve HIPAA, PCI, and New York State cybersecurity compliance to keep your network safe and secure. Whatever your business IT needs are, Simple Tech Innovation should be your first call. They've won the Best in Rochester 8 years in a row and have an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. Call them today for a free consultation at 585-200-3182. That's 585-200-3182. Simple Tech Innovations.
A reminder from Abate Monroe County. American bikers aim toward education. Distracted driving is dangerous, so pull over and eat. Don't try to read your mail and newspaper, and stay off your cell phone. Make a mental note to be more alert, making it a habit to expect the unexpected. Remember to look twice. Save a life. Train yourself to watch for motorcycles which are harder to see. Join Abate, and your family will be protected with a free $4,000 accident policy. Ride safe. Ride free. Ride often. Abate. If you ride with us. Google Abate Monroe County.
Why do businesses choose to move their website from Wix and Squarespace to Simple Tech Innovations? Maybe it's their excellent customer service or attention to detail. Maybe it's their ability to give a truly customized solution. Or perhaps they just like the fact that Simple Tech is a local small business that builds great relationships with
Coming back.
clients. Whatever the reason may be, you can rest assured knowing that the local team at Simple Tech has your best interest in
Thanks for that taste.
updating your website. They're hands-on and love helping customers achieve their goal.
No, I'm finishing up my coffee, thanks.
The Best in Rochester 8 years in a row and have an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. If your website doesn't match your dreams or isn't achieving your goals, give the professionals at Simple Tech Innovations a call today for a consultation at 585-200-3182. That's 585-200-3182. Simple Tech Innovations.
You're listening to Radio Free New York
On the WYSL stations.
All right, we are back here on Radio Free New York. I'm your host, Andrew Hollister. We're talking about places.
And we're openly carrying today, folks. I just want to let you know.
Yep, absolutely. Actually, we did get a comment here. Jesse on Facebook says some counties are open carry only. Depends on where you live. Not in New York State. There is an exception to that, though. I did just Google it just to be sure. Hunting season. If you are hunting with a pistol, you can technically open carry in the woods during hunting season.
And I remember the days when guys would get off the school bus with the shotgun.
Sure. Yep. Yep, absolutely. But
lock it up in your locker. Don't bring it to class.
Yeah. Don't do that.
People think we're making this up when we tell these stories.
Sure,
it's absolutely
they just
true.
Don't realize that's how it used to be.
Nobody
it's just not
ever
that way now.
Nobody ever got shot.
Yeah. I think that we have a very bad situation in society where you can look back and you can see such a steep change in that short period of time. I think that's a really awful thing that, you can look back and see not that long ago, people were bringing guns to school and it was absolutely normal. And now our schools have turned into a prison system.
Right.
And you go through an airport scanner to get in. And people are so terrified and so uneducated. They just don't know. They're just scared. It's a really bad situation.
I remember during lunch hour out in the parking lot, you'd see a couple of faculty members out there with some of the guys, in high school. They're comparing shotguns.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Well, I like the Savage. Yeah. Well, I like the Ithaca. Whatever. I mean, and not only was nobody ever got shot. Not only that, but also there were never even any accidental discharges.
Yeah. Certainly, it's one of those things that's lost the family upbringing, if you will. When I grew up, my grandfather, he was a World War II veteran. He was a hunter. He taught my father and his brothers and sisters. And when I grew up, my father taught me and my siblings. And firearm safety was very deeply ingrained into our family's upbringing. And you have a lot of people who don't know that firearm safety exists. You have people that have never touched a firearm before, which is totally fine. You don't have to. You don't have to have a driver's license to respect driving a vehicle and to know that driving unsafely can lead to unsafe things, but also there is a way to drive a vehicle where you are safe. Same thing goes for firearms, but that seems to have that mentality has really dissipated from society over the years.
Well, I think there's been a political agenda, and I think that people have been stampeded into believing something that is not true. That firearms are inherently dangerous and there's no safe way to own and possess and use a firearm. Well, of course they're inherently dangerous because that's what they're designed to do.
Yeah. It's very interesting when I explain to somebody what a firearm actually does. They kind of take a step back, and it's usually like a first-time shooter's course, and I'm talking with them about respect for what you're about to partake in, and I explain it this way. I say, you're going to hold metal components in your hand, and you're going to have a controlled explosion happen in your hand right now, so you better be safe, but that's what it is. It's a controlled explosion. And so absolutely, it can be dangerous. It can also be safe and a ton of fun.
And believe it or not, there's all kinds of controlled explosions that take place in your life on a daily basis.
Oh, yeah.
As you drive your car down the road, what's happening under the hood? A lot of controlled explosions, one after the other.
Many.
Ever open a bottle of champagne?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So controlled explosions can be dangerous, can be a lot of fun. That's, you just got to be safe. So we're talking about, for those who are joining us here on the show, we're talking about Walmart, Wegmans, a bunch of other retailers, grocery stores, asking people, please don't open carry in our stores anymore. And the first thing I want to do is say, yeah, they're within their right to do that. It's private property. They're private companies. They have the ability to do that. They could go further. They could take a hardline stance if they want to. They could say, we don't want firearms on our property. And since it's private property, they can do that. When we talk about the Second Amendment, I think a lot of times people forget that the Second Amendment, the Constitution of our United States, applies to our government. It does not necessarily apply to us as individuals. There is a restriction, government, you cannot do these things. So when we talk about this sort of stuff, people go, wait, well, what about my Second Amendment rights? Your Second Amendment rights are there to tell government what they cannot do. Well, the government cannot infringe on your rights, which means things like public property. and public buildings owned by the government. You look at something like the law we have in Monroe County right now that prohibits people who have a legally possessed firearm, who went through an extensive local, federal, and state background check to be able to carry their pistols. And it's illegal in Monroe County to carry that pistol in that public place. That is without a doubt an infringement on your Second Amendment rights. The government telling you in certain government buildings you can't have the right to defend yourself. Well, the Second Amendment is a restriction to prevent that from happening. Clearly, it's happened anyway, so there's no disputing that. But that is the purpose of the Second Amendment. In terms of private companies, private properties, you could tell anybody, you could tell a family member, hey, when you come to my house, don't bring, it doesn't have to be a gun. It could be anything. Don't bring your kid. I don't like your kid. Don't bring them to my house. They can do that. So I think the next question is, what can you do? What can you do with these private companies if you disagree with us? Maybe you do, maybe you don't. Maybe, honestly, you don't care. But I want to have the discussion either way. Something that I feel like Americans have truly forgotten about, and that is boycotting. I mean, it's pretty simple. You make the decision to not give that organization your money anymore. And you make sure your friends know, you make sure your family knows, and you make sure the organization knows. And maybe they care and maybe they don't. That's the reality of where it is today. Some of these organizations are very, very big. If everybody listening to this show said starting tomorrow, I'm not shopping at Walmart, first off, probably half of you don't shop at Walmart anyways.
I can't remember the last time I was in a Walmart.
Yeah.
I really can't.
I don't find myself there very often either. There are rare instances where I find myself there, and rather frequently I regret going. Just to be honest, they have very poor management of their checkout counters. That's just,
that's terrible. Well, they've gone to the self-checkout pretty much now, haven't they?
Yeah, but even then, I mean, you have so many people going to self-checkout because they know how bad the people are checking them out. And not that the people are bad. It's just slow. It's clunky. And there's like one lane open, it's still not better, and there's a lot of complaints about the way Walmart treats their staff, in terms of pay and benefits and that sort of thing. I understand that as well. That's an issue, and people don't want to shop there for that reason as well. So there's already a lot of people not shopping there. Some people will shop there even less or stop. I don't think Walmart's going to feel the pressure, though, to be totally honest. Somewhere like Wegmans being local, big, but local, I feel like Wegmans has a pulse on the community. I feel like Wegmans cares about their local perception. So if you are upset about this, boycotting Wegmans, letting them know, and letting other people know, I think you could get Wegmans' attention. But somewhere like Walmart, probably not. CVS, probably not. Rite Aid, I think they just closed down, or all their stores got sold. So they're
Rite Aid's gone?
Yeah, Rite Aid's gone or almost gone.
I think Walgreens is on this list of organizations.
I think Walgreens is who bought them. I'm not 100% sure, but I think so. So that's one.
So talk to the manager when you go in there. Just say, by the way, I understand your policy. I don't agree with it.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's another thing you can do, and I hope you guys are doing this anyways, because it's something I've been doing for a long time. I push it all the time. But that's support your local gun shops. Don't go to Walmart to buy ammunition. I mean, Wegmans doesn't sell ammunition, so you can't, do that. Maybe find somebody else to buy those products from that's local.
Guys at Avon Gun, Fred and American Sportsman.
Sure. Yeah. Any number of, there are so many local gun shops just in the Rochester area outside of Monroe County, hundreds and hundreds of mom and pop shops, true small businesses adding to your local economy. Shop with them, support them. Now, I know we have a problem, and that is a lot of the small gun shops, they're hard to find. If, you hear about them through friends. They're terrible at advertising. They a lot of times don't have a website, no Facebook page. It's kind of like a word of mouth type thing. I realized that I'm actually working on a small solution to that problem. So I popped up a website, the2astore.com. Now, it's not live yet. It will be hopefully in the next week, but it's going to be a local directory that people can go to for businesses that support your Second Amendment rights. So if you own a small business, doesn't matter if it's a gun store or not, you could be a small grocery store, a gas station, maybe a tailor shop, whatever. You can pop up your business information there. It's not going to cost anything. It's just a place, because I was sitting there and I was Googling around and I was like, yeah, you know what? What are the small businesses around me that do support the Second Amendment? Because I want my money to go to them. And I couldn't find like a list anywhere. And I realized that that's a big issue. So I decided I'd put something like that together. So we do have a list, who knows where it goes. But if you go to the2astore.com today, you can just put in your name and email address. So when it does go live, you can put in your business information there so people can find it. I'll promote it around, and hopefully we build up that small local Second Amendment supporting community here in Rochester and New York State. And we get away from these people who are taking our money but don't really care about our rights. All right, guys, we're going to take another break here. When we get back, we're going to talk about healthcare and how it could change over the next few years.
Radio Free New York.
You're listening to the voice of liberty. WYSL. AM 1040 Avon, Rochester, FM 92.1 Rochester, FM 95.5 Spencerport, and WYSL1040.com everywhere.
Why do businesses choose to move their website from Wix and Squarespace to SimpleTech Innovations? Maybe it's their excellent customer service or attention to detail. Maybe it's their ability to give a truly customized solution. Or perhaps they just like the fact that SimpleTech is a local small business that builds great relationships with its clients. Whatever the reason may be, you can rest assured knowing that the local team at SimpleTech has your best interest in mind when building or updating your website. They're hands-on and love helping customers achieve their goals. But don't take my word for it. They've won the best in Rochester 8 years in a row and have an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. If your website doesn't match your dreams or isn't achieving your goals, give the professionals at SimpleTech Innovations a call today for a consultation at 585-200-3182. That's 585-200-3182. SimpleTech Innovations.
Aircraft Environmental Systems proudly supports Radio Free New York. Rochester-based leaders in climate simulation chambers for America's R&D laboratories. We're experts in troubleshooting, calibrations, custom designs, and consulting for more than 40 years. Industry pioneers, we created the first ever fleet of temperature, humidity, and altitude test chambers available to rent coast to coast. Trained and trusted by environmental chamber manufacturers, we are ACES. Find us at acesinc.com.
Your business relies on computers and technology to operate. Slow, unreliable networks and servers can cause unplanned downtime and affect your bottom line. The experts at SimpleTech Innovations are here to help. Their preventative maintenance program ensures that your computers and network are kept up to date and monitored for any issues, keeping your business running smoothly. They also help clients achieve HIPAA and New York State cybersecurity compliance to keep your network safe and secure. Whatever your business IT needs are, SimpleTech Innovations should be your first call. They've won the best in Rochester 8 years in a row and have an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. Call them today for a free consultation at 585-200-3182. That's 585-200-3182. SimpleTech Innovations.
Radio Free New York on WYSL. AM 1040, FM 92.1, and FM 95.5 West.
All right. We are back here on Radio Free New York. I'm your host, Andrew Hollister, and we just wrapped up talking about retailers asking people to no longer open carry in their stores. Reading through the comments here, Chuck says, I like the policy of don't ask, don't tell. Maybe I'm armed, maybe I'm not. Definitely take my Second Amendment very seriously. Absolutely. And I'll tell you guys one thing, just about anywhere you go, it doesn't matter if you're in Rochester, if you're in New York, if you're anywhere in the nation, probably in the world, go to a defensive firearms course, especially something taught by, somebody with a lot of experience, or, maybe somebody from a police force, former military. They'll all tell you the same thing. They think that open carry is kind of a goofy thing, because they say that being able to concealed carry really gives you kind of that element of surprise. You don't become a target, because let's face it, somebody wants to shoot up a place, they're going to identify their threats first. You're open carrying, you're threat number one, you may be the first one to go. And I agree with that 100%.
Totally.
And there's no question about that. I think, though, that there's another aspect to this, and they're not even conflicting ideals. It's just a different way of looking at it. When I went to Pennsylvania a couple of years ago after the SAFE Act passed, I was shocked when I would go into the stores at the number of people who are open carrying. It's like totally different culture, totally different environment. And you know what I felt? I felt really safe. I felt like, wow, nothing's going to happen here.
That's exactly what I was going to say. I mean, you see a bunch of open carry around, you're thinking, this is not a target-rich environment for somebody who wants to cause problems.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in the grocery store, and the person at the cash register's open carry. It is such a different experience. And I realized that a huge issue we have in New York, at least, is that because people don't see firearms, because we are concealed carrying, and I 100% acknowledge the reason and the strategy behind it. I conceal carry almost every day. That's just, how it's been. And for years, it's been that way. But there's something to be said for society seeing it and feeling safe and knowing that it's okay. And I think that firearms ownership in general has become almost a taboo thing, or at least that's what the market's trying, or the media is trying to make it taboo. Political players are trying to make it taboo. They're trying to get you to the point where, and tell me you haven't heard this, but I know we all have. I coach my children not to talk about guns at school because I'm afraid of red flag laws. I coach my children, not to tell the doctor that there's firearms in the house because maybe they'll ask questions. You've all heard somebody say that. Maybe you've said it yourself, and it's about any number of things. And we're actually training society to sweep firearm ownership under the rug, so it looks like only a few people actually do own firearms. And then you go, yeah, well, it's no big deal. Just get rid of it. I mean, that's what's happening.
Like it's something crazy and unwise. Now, here's a question for you. So you concealed carry much of the time, if not most, right?
Yep.
Now, do you carry with one round chambered?
Oh, I do. Absolutely. And I and this is, I'm sure we could have like a great talk about this, but probably about 2.5-3 years ago, I did make the decision to carry a firearm specific for personal defense that also does not have any type of external safety, because you just never know. And when going through various levels of training and stuff, I eventually felt comfortable with that. And that's something that I really want to emphasize to people. You have to feel comfortable. You have to train. When you get your driver's license, let's be honest, everybody be honest. When you got your driver's license, you were an awful driver. 99.9% of us, when we got our driver's licenses, we were awful, terrible drivers. And probably most of us drove way too slow to be on the highway at the time. You're terrified to drive next to a tractor trailer. Parking wasn't your strong suit. But after years of practicing, doing it every day, maybe you're a good driver. The majority of drivers think they're above average. That's a fun joke. But chances are you are a much safer and much more comfortable driver today than you were the day you got your driver's license. Firearm ownership is the same thing. You have to practice. Go take a course. Take 4 or 5 courses. Become comfortable. Know what your limits are. Like, that's important stuff.
And once you get the skills, you have to sharpen them. You have to keep them sharp.
Yeah.
They do deteriorate.
Yep.
And so you want to make sure that you get to the range. And, it's just like golf.
Skill.
Hit a bucket of balls, right?
Yep, absolutely. And if you don't believe me, you can go to YouTube and find a bunch of people who have shot themselves trying to draw from their holster, because they weren't practicing. Maybe it's a gun they've never even shot before, and they're trying to do something way outside of their skill set. They're not being safe at all. Like you have to practice. It's not something that you buy one day, you just lock it up in a safe and you never touch it again. Might as well not have it at that point. It's not a safe thing. But you train with it, you put in the time, you become comfortable. Absolutely. It's just like driving a car, riding a bicycle. It can be safe, it can be fun, it can be a means of self-defense, means to protect your family, but you got to do the right things. You got to check out somebody like Rochester Personal Defense, do a class with them, get a local membership at one of the ranges, and people will help you too. That's the great thing. The firearms community is so great because people will say, hey, let me show you how to do this. I noticed you're holding this wrong. I noticed that you're doing this wrong or you're doing that wrong. I've got this goofy thing with my left hand grip. I shoot competition occasionally, and constantly people are, hey, your left hand's kind of I know I'm working on it, but it's something you work on. So you gotta practice. It's important. All right. So sorry that comment kind of led me on a little tangent here. We're going to go ahead and roll into Walmart and healthcare. And Walmart's not the only one, by the way, but Walmart seems to be they're getting themselves in the news cycle just in front of everybody else. So they're doing this because Amazon's announced something similar, or that they're working on something similar. So we can all agree that a lot of people maybe aren't so happy with Walmart in general, between their employees, how they get taught, some of the stuff that they do in their stores, how they become so aggressively low priced. People have their qualms with Walmart. Well, you have to give credit where credit's due, and you have to admit that Walmart has been in large successful. I mean, they are a successful organization. They're doing pretty good for themselves. How they became successful, you may or may not agree with, but the fact is they are successful. Well, they are opening a standalone healthcare clinic in Georgia. And they already have some in-store health clinics in Georgia, South Carolina. I thought there was one in Texas, but now I'm not sure if it's Dallas, Texas, or Dallas, Georgia. So don't quote me on if it's actually in Texas or not. And here's the thing. Walmart's not the first one to do the in-store clinics. CVS has been doing this for a while. CVS has not been successful with it. Walmart's taking a different approach, and that approach is transparent pricing, which you guys have heard me talk about many times before. So when you walk into one of your Walmart healthcare clinics, you will know exactly what your bill is going to be before you step to the door. Whether you hand them, I didn't see anything about if they're going to accept insurance or not. I'm assuming at some point they will. But let me just tell you what their price list, which has already been published, by the way. So you can look at the price. You don't even have to be in a Walmart or in a Walmart clinic. You can just Google it and have their price list. A basic, regular, annual checkup for a child is going to be $20. For an adult, $30. You want an eye exam? $40. So I look at those prices and I go, holy crap, that's like what people pay for a copay, right? I mean, $20 to $40, that's pretty good. If I look at my high deductible plan, I'm paying way more than that out of pocket before my insurance even kicks in. So that's going to be a big deal.
Isn't that the greatest thing? It's called the free market, folks.
No.
But when you get to go out there and buy whatever you want to and pay a fair price for it.
Yeah.
And you get to shop.
Yep. Yeah. So I think this is really interesting. Since they've announced it, their stock, I want to say I read, went up like 20% or something like that. Whereas when CVS did this, their stock went down about 6%. But they didn't include transparent pricing. They weren't upfront about things. So this is really interesting. Now, there's a lot of people who are very skeptical of this, and rightly so, because one of the things I saw when I posted the article about it is somebody said, "Oh yeah, they'll have 20 doctors' lines available, but only one line will be open."
Waka waka. And then they'll have the doctor yourself line.
Yeah. But I don't know, because the reason I look at this, and corners may be cut somewhere. I don't know where. I don't have a crystal ball. But if this is successful, which I expect it will be, I don't think they would invest the money if they didn't think it was going to be successful. You're going to see other organizations follow suit. You're going to see when somebody goes, "Hey, we're going to adopt the Walmart model for healthcare," and that'll be transparent pricing. Guys, we're going to take a real quick break here on Radio Free New York, and when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about this and how Amazon might be jumping into the same thing. We'll catch you in a moment on Radio Free New York.
Your business relies on computers and technology to operate. Slow, unreliable networks and servers can cause unplanned downtime and affect your bottom line. The experts at Simple Tech Innovations are here to help. Their preventative maintenance program ensures that your computers and network are kept up to date and monitored for any issues, keeping your business running smoothly. They also help clients achieve HIPAA, PCI, and New York State cybersecurity compliance to keep your network safe and secure. Whatever your business IT needs are, Simple Tech Innovations should be your first call. They've won the best in Rochester 8 years in a row and have an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. Call them today for a free consultation at 585-200-3182. That's 585-200-3182. Simple Tech Innovations.
Fiorella, a family-owned farm-to-table Italian restaurant with casual atmosphere at the newly renovated Rochester Public Market. Fiorella offers wood-fired, old-world-style pizza with naturally leavened dough, house-made fresh pasta, desserts, and gelato. Enjoy craft beers, imported Italian and New York State wines. Open Wednesday through Saturday for lunch and dinner. Wednesday evenings enjoy no corkage fee, and Thursday is gnocchi night. Call 434-5705 for reservations. View the menu on the web. restaurantfiorella.com.
Why do businesses choose to move their website from Wix and Squarespace to Simple Tech Innovations? Maybe it's their excellent customer service or attention to detail. Maybe it's their ability to give a truly customized solution. Or perhaps they just like the fact that Simple Tech is a local small
spot
builds great relationships with its clients. Whatever the reason may be, you can rest assured knowing that the local team at Simple Tech has your best interest in mind when building or updating your website. They're hands-on and love helping customers achieve their goals. But don't take my word for it. They've won the best in Rochester 8 years in a row and have an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. If your website doesn't match your dreams or isn't achieving your goals, give the professionals at Simple Tech Innovations a call today for a consultation at 585-200-3182. That's 585-200-3182. Simple Tech Innovations.
You're listening to Radio Free New York on the WYSL stations.
All right, welcome back to Radio Free New York. We're talking about healthcare. Interesting thing, Walmart's getting into healthcare, and it's not health insurance, it's actually healthcare. Strange. And as I look at this, they have the opportunity to possibly fix our healthcare crisis just by being the first ones. They won't necessarily be the ones to fix it, but they're the ones kind of sticking their neck out with this. And which I'm sure they've ran the numbers. They don't think they're sticking their neck out, and I'm sure they're not. I'm sure they know they're going to make a killing on this. So
the resources to put it over.
Yeah, absolutely. So no, I'm like Walmart and all their charitable desires is doing this. They know they're going to make a serious profit. And if they pull this off, which I think they will, the American people are hopefully going to see that what Congress and the U.S. government has been working on for decades to fix, which is our, quote, healthcare system. Actually, let me take that back. Congress and the U.S. government have not been working on fixing healthcare. They don't actually care about fixing healthcare. What they care about is health insurance, and that's what they're always talking about. All the presidential candidates, when they mention the word healthcare, they actually mean your health insurance. They don't really care about your care. Why is that? Because that's not what the lobbyists are being paid to lobby for. The lobbyists are being paid to lobby for the health insurance companies, whereas Walmart is sitting here and saying, no, we think we're going to offer health care, and we're going to give you transparent pricing, and we're going to give you reasonable pricing. And people are saying, wait, you mean I'll know what my bill is before I walk through the door?
What a concept.
Like, yeah, isn't that crazy? I mean, healthcare is the only industry that the pricing is clear as mud. I mean, really, you have no idea what your healthcare costs. No idea. You have no idea what you're going to pay. You have no idea what your insurance is going to pay. At the end of the day, you know somebody's going to give you a bill, but you don't know who or for how much. And when you do get that bill, and I have one at my house that I got for some dental work a few months ago, you can't even read it. It makes no sense whatsoever. There's credits and debits and all this goofy stuff. And then somehow at the end, it all adds up and that's what you owe. And you have no idea, no clue what half those services are that you were billed for. You have no idea why your insurance only covered a portion, what clause in your insurance even mentions that procedure. And then you just kind of go, yeah, I guess probably that's what I owe. Oh, okay, here, take my money, even though I spend thousands of dollars a year on health insurance. That's what it is. So the idea that you could go to a doctor and know that your visit is going to cost you $30, and that's it. No, we're going to bill you within 6 weeks. No, maybe somebody will cover it, maybe it won't. You know it's going to be $30. People are going to go there just for the peace of mind.
Are there any plans at Walmart to do anything like clinic care, like you would get in
I think so, because in some of the
walk-in clinic.
Yeah. So what I was reading, they're going to have doctors on staff, physicians assistants on staff, like medical techs, like this. I mean, it sounds like it's going to be, and they're calling it Walmart Health. And they're already looking at buying one large healthcare provider. So I think that 6 years from now, 10 years from now, I wouldn't be surprised if Walmart has a fully functioning hospital running on this model. And I wouldn't be surprised if that hospital performs very well, not just in terms of like pricing and affordability, but if they actually have good quality care, because they'll be the branding they have to make in this field to be successful. It's one thing to say, hey, we have the best priced pens and the best priced oranges, versus saying, yeah, our doctors are priced great, but hey, we might leave you on the table. There's that. So I think that, if government doesn't step in, which I'm sure government is going to try to step in and say, oh, you can't do that. You have to do something so that it starts becoming crappy. I think this changes things. And to that point, Amazon recently, after Walmart announced this, said that they are looking into getting into healthcare as well. So there you go. Walmart takes the first step. Somebody else follows. Whether Amazon was thinking about it first or not, Walmart beat them to announcing it. And I want to tell you guys about something. I mean, if you look at what Amazon has done, Amazon delivers within 2 days, a lot of times within 1 day. Post Office, UPS, FedEx, they couldn't keep up with them. So what did Amazon do? They built their own delivery system, and it's working pretty well. When I have a package delivered, I can see where it is on the map. I get a picture when it's at my door. They've reinvented the whole process. They're doing very well. Now they're looking at healthcare. Guess why Amazon said they were looking at getting into healthcare?
Because Walmart is.
No. Their answer is providing healthcare to their employees under government regulation is so expensive They think they can do it themselves.
Do it themselves cheaper. Yeah.
Yep. And I bet you they will. And I bet you it'll be great. And their focus is their employees. So it's going to be good. And then they're going to say, okay, this is working for our employees. Why don't we open this up to the general public? And that's going to be good. So now we have the opportunity in the next, I say, 3 years to see somebody like Walmart and Amazon competing in the health care market, not the health insurance market, which is a total disaster, the actual health care market, where maybe you can buy a subscription to your health care, and you can do that. Or you go to the local, Whole Foods is owned by Amazon, right? Maybe there's a whole clinic or whatever, whole body clinic. And you've got now Walmart Health and Amazon Health competing against each other. You can price check online. You can probably buy a membership, and it will be insanely cheaper than health insurance. Now, of course, government wants and needs their cut, so they're going to try to get involved in this. You know that no good thing can happen without government trying to make it bad and wrong. So I'm going to tell you guys what I think is going to happen. They're going to pop up. They're going to do this. The first thing that's going to happen is Congress is probably going to revisit that fee, that penalty that you have to pay for not having health insurance. That's probably going to go up or something. It's going to become more steep. It's going to become more painful. They're going to create some new tax for it. Maybe what they'll do, they'll increase taxes somewhere and you'll get a credit back on your taxes if you have health insurance. And if you don't have health insurance, you don't get the credit. They will do something. They will find some way to get in there. And they'll probably run some campaigns about how these free market options are maybe not as safe, or, you see some sort of advertising similar to what we're seeing with electronic cigarettes right now.
I was just going to say, like they're doing with e-cigs.
Yep, absolutely. I would not be surprised. Somebody's going to stub their toe in a Walmart health clinic, and it's going to make national news about how it must not be safe there.
I don't know if you saw that Andy Cuomo now wants to ban menthol flavored.
Oh, really?
Vaping.
No, I think
last week it was fine.
Yeah, I think I remember, now that you're saying that, I think I remember seeing that. And I think Massachusetts just put a 4-month ban on flavored vape as well. The thing I find interesting is this is like people saying caffeine is bad for you, so we're going to ban flavored coffee, but not unflavored coffee. Never mind the fact that they have the same amount of caffeine in them.
It's ridiculous. People are going to find the vape stuff that they want. They'll buy it online or whatever.
Well, they're making it at home. So I'm in a bunch of different vape groups. I joined to kind of understand the community. And people they're like, hey, how do I make this at home? And you got people, here's my recipe. Never mind the fact that the vape that people got sick on to begin with was black market stuff. It wasn't stuff being sold in stores. It was black market stuff. We're now telling people, hey guys, the free market's not open for you. Go to the black market, get more sick. If we really cared about people and their health, that's not what we would be doing. But it's about taxes. It's about lobbyists, big tobacco.
Look at the Fidelis Care billboards around town.
Yeah.
Let's get everyone covered.
Yeah, yep. Because they care about getting you on health insurance. They don't care about your health. They just want you on health insurance. And I'll tell you what, once you have health insurance covering your health care, although you are the patient, you don't have control over your care anymore. You're in a situation where, because you're not paying the bill, you have to go based off of what insurance is going to cover. So you wanted that MRI or that CAT scan. No, you can't have that until you've had the headaches for 6 months straight. So why don't you stay on this drug that's clearly not helping you and giving you bad side effects for 6 months? So then the insurance company will consider covering you for the next piece of diagnostics. When you're in charge of your healthcare, you're in charge of the cost. You say, no, I want that MRI today. I'm paying for it. And what do you get? You get that MRI today or whenever the next opening is. When somebody else is paying for your coverage, you're at their mercy. You don't have control over the drugs that are available to you. You don't have control over the diagnostic path or treatment path you want to take. If Walmart's successful, if Amazon's successful, if them and many others will get in, once they see it's happening, people are going to jump in. You might actually be able to reclaim some of that control, take control of your actual health care at some point. To me, it's very exciting. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens. Is there a possibility this all goes sideways and south? Of course, nothing's set in stone. Nothing's for sure. But I think it's a really cool opportunity. I hope government doesn't jump in and squash the free market yet again. So guys, thank you so much for joining me on Radio Free New York. I hope you guys have an awesome weekend, and I will see you on Monday.